Hi, I'm Lisa Dufo, Executive Director of Mount Washington Valley Promotions. I'd like to welcome you to Charity Chowder on Channel 3 with my co-host, Amy Frechette.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for filling in again.
Always, no problem.
Yeah, busy lady. They always say if you want something done, get busy people because they'll figure out a way.
That's right.
And our guest this week from the Brown Church, or the Conway Village Congregational Church, we've got Anne Getchell. They've got lots of stuff happening that I'm sure you've all heard about, and we're going to really get into it right after we tell you the stuff that's happening this week. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, so we got up through all of those things, and now Anne has been so busy since that nasty flood we all had a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the Brown Church got hit really badly.
We did. Biggest flood that we've ever had. We've been flooded. Irene, things like that. And it only went in the crawl space. This went in the whole bottom floor.
Wow.
From one end to the other.
Which is, devastating to start with, but you store stuff for the food pantry there. You store stuff for the dinner bell. It's just so much got destroyed.
Yeah, and going all the way back to one end of the building to the next, we lost 2 freezers that had apple crisp in them, frozen to be given or sold if we had people interested before the end of the year. Those were gone. That room probably had almost 4 feet of water in it.
Wow.
Then the water came in to the food pantry, and I had to walk through it to get the keys to the van so the van didn't float away out in the back parking lot. And it was up to my knees in the water. And then we move into the classroom and the offices. I should back up. Monday night is when the food pantry flooded. We went home, nothing more we could do. Overnight, the river went up another couple feet, and it then proceeded to completely fill up the whole downstairs, which included the hallway, offices, conference room, the back room, and the whole floor. So interestingly enough, you come in the next morning, there's no standing water. It just went out.
Sure.
It's gone. And it moved a lot of things around in the building, but so immediately it was cleanup. And that took about 3 days, no electricity, no heat. We had the water drained immediately, so no freeze-ups.
Right.
And probably the biggest discovery that morning was we have 3 oil tanks in the crawl space. The line connecting the oil tanks to the furnace broke, and they pumped out about 650 of the 700 gallons of oil that was in those tanks.
Wow.
And then a little next sort of little level up are the 2 furnaces. They were underwater. The water line was up to my shoulders in that room. So and then it just proceeded to rise into the flood and into the food pantry and everywhere else.
Right.
So the discovery of the heating system was the most alarming because it can't go back there.
Right.
And it's going to have to be completely rebuilt.
Wow.
That included the hot water heater, and it has to go somewhere other than that floor. It has to go above the flood line. So it's going to have to move either up high on walls someplace, meaning the newer design furnaces,
Sure.
or up on the 2nd floor. But to take on that, we also now have to bring the whole building up to code for the heating, which means all the rooms in the building are going to have to be upgraded with the heat in order to connect to this. So that's probably our most daunting thing right now. Everything was important that got damaged, but that's the one that's going to probably cost us the most. It does give us an opportunity to update some things that we really needed to do, but we lost 8 refrigerators and freezers combined between dinner bell and food pantry. We had a chest freezer that was full of chicken that I put in that day earlier from Walmart. It floated and it flipped. And so everything's gone in that also. We then had to have the Snell brothers come in the 2nd day and rip up all the carpet.
Sure.
Rip up there was a linoleum floor under that, which they pulled up. And that is in all the rooms downstairs. And they've been running dryers now for, almost a week. And I think the dryers run about $250 a day to run the dryers and the humidifiers and everything in there. They're finding that not all the subfloor is going to be saved. They run a meter along the wall to determine moisture.
Right.
We have some walls that may have to get ripped out because the moisture got in behind the wall. Each day is a new discovery. Yeah. Yesterday's discovery was that we thought the classroom was going to get saved, but they found moisture under the tiles, so all the tiles have to come up.
Oh, boy.
And that was a room we just found out yesterday. And so then we don't know what went beyond that. So as I said, it's every day. I just calculated this morning, I think it was a little over, maybe about $3,500 at the pantry and the dinner bell lost in food.
Wow.
We did that. We've been inventorying everything.
Of course.
So we don't know what furniture got damaged, if it brings moisture up into the furniture. We're not thinking about those right now, but it's been a daily change.
Right,
and
down the road.
This week we met with FEMA.
Good.
And
Sort of good.
well, it's a 6 to 9 month time frame, I guess, to get a declaration.
Wow.
And then potentially a year for funds, but it's a reimbursement. So we have to get started on work,
Right.
as does the school. The Robert Frost School was with us also. But we have to have the report to them with our numbers today. So when I leave here, I will be going back with my counterpart.
That they can take a year, but you have 3 days. It's like, wow.
Yeah,
That's
so
tough.
we've been scrambling with these lists and getting estimates. The other problem that affected the whole building was the oil smell.
Right, sure.
Yes.
We noticed that right away when we came in. And so the sanctuary in the second floor, in the fellowship hall and all, really was fine until there's air vents that run out, that suck up from the crawl space up into the sanctuary. And actually the worst smell of the building is the sanctuary.
Not even
So that
surprised.
means replacing all the carpeting in the sanctuary.
Sure.
We've gotten estimates for that. Cleaning the chairs, because now we have upholstered chairs in there. It's a daunting list, but we'll get through it. And we've had a lot of support.
I was just going to say the community.
The
keeps
community,
saying, what can we do? What
totally,
can we do?
right, and we're doing the best we can to find those things to do. We do have a donation button on our website, thebrownchurch.org. We actually finally got a GoFundMe that should be showing up in the next day or two.
Good.
And I know people have asked for that, but we really felt like we needed to get a little better assessment.
Right, figure out what you need
And put a
before you
dollar
ask.
amount,
Right.
and that dollar amount that we've posted or will be posting is really just to get us to assessing and pulling things up.
Right.
It isn't really going to, we may get the heating system part of that too, but we're still evaluating
Sure.
that. As I said, there's no heat in the building because the pipes have been completely drained. And then, so we'll have to have a plumber come back in and do all that, hook it up to the new furnace. And,
Sure. So at this point, the only thing that's happening in the building is you're
drying
assessing.
out. It's drying out, and
Yep.
and Paul and Sylvia Weld were in the food pantry yesterday, going back and kind of round 2 of removing food that really shouldn't be kept.
Sure.
And they have a better handle on it because they've been running the food pantry
Sure.
for a long, long time. So they took quite a bit out to the dumpster. And we saved the van, so that's good. And we've been taking that to the dump, to get rid of stuff.
Right.
And,
And a lot of, I mean, I've been keeping the posts and sharing
yes,
posts.
and I thank you for that.
That's,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
something we can do, but
Yeah.
it's great that like you've been teaming up with the church in North Conway the couple of
Yes.
weeks.
We had 2 services there, and that was wonderful to be able to do. It was actually nice as an attendee to sit back and let somebody else worry about
right.
the lights and the heat and all that. And we really appreciated
Right.
that. Yes, we did.
And then going forward, you're going to be
Yes.
doing some services at
The Majestic.
The Majestic,
Yeah. George
which
Weiss
is
came right to us and offered it to us. We
wonderful.
have little things to work out in terms of our Zoom and our service, but all of it's easy to make work.
Yep.
Very appreciative because we really didn't want to go back to 100% Zoom like we did at
Right.
COVID.
Right.
That was okay for a while, but we don't want to do
Yeah,
it
everybody's
again.
kind of over it.
Yeah, so we are very appreciative.
Oh, and in
And-
times like this, you want to be with people, with community
Exactly.
members who are, all part of.
Yep. Yeah,
part of
everybody
this
wants to get
group.
back
Right.
together. And we're having all of our board meetings at people's houses, which is actually not a bad thing. It's been kind of fun to
There
do
you
that.
go.
But so each week we kind of sit down at the beginning of the week and do our plan of action plan and determine what's next to be done. And while was a lot of hard work to get all this, it's now hopefully going to work itself out with getting estimates and seeing what we can do
Right.
next.
So
But yeah.
our community is so generous, right? What is the one thing, I mean, I know there's a lot of services that you will need ultimately for repair and things like that, but that might be a little farther out. Right now,
Yeah.
if someone wants to help, the best way is to make a monetary donation
It sure is.
on the website.
Yeah, because we've already gotten first bills from the plumber. We're going to be getting bills from Snell, and then all that sort of thing the bills will be coming in. We still pay the electric bill,
Sure,
and we
sure,
still have
right.
operating expenses. We still have salaries, so we have all that going, and we have sort of this. Calling it up and running is our first phase, and up and running includes getting heat back in the building and running water so that Dinner Bell can get going and food pantry can
And
get
do you
going.
have an alternative location for the Dinner Bell or the food pantry in the interim? I'm just thinking of how many people
right.
that affects. I mean, obviously
Yeah.
the congregation itself is a large number of
Right.
people who are affected by this, but
Yeah.
then the work that you do in the greater
outreach.
community,
Right.
I mean, just the ripple effect of
Yes.
this issue is profound. So
The Dinner Bell, it does not have a backup right now. So it's really, our focus is to get them back up and
right,
running.
absolutely.
Food Pantry, however, has a really good relationship with the Vaughn Center.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And so Paul and Sylvia have been up there right away. When the freezer shut down, we hauled all the frozen food up to them. And they set it aside with our name on it.
Oh, wow.
However, because it's going to be a while, we've just said go ahead and distribute those foods.
Sure.
And so we also, they've got 2 days up there. I don't know the dates right off the top of my head, in the times, but we're going to offer some of our volunteers to help out on those days.
Perfect.
And Paul and Sylvia were down there yesterday taking inventory of food we just might as well give them, the non-perishable food, because we don't know when we can use it. So it's a great relationship, and we are very appreciative of them doing it. So, and our clients, actually, Sylvia is calling these clients one-on-one.
Of course she is.
Yes, she is. And we've also received some gift cards from Shaw's.
Oh,
And
nice.
right off, I don't know, recall the dollar amount, but Sylvia has mailed gift cards to all of our clients.
Wow.
So we're trying to help them as best. I mean, if somebody honestly called the office tomorrow and said, I'm desperate, I need food, I can get in there and give them something.
Right.
But we'd rather it go through Vaughn
Yeah,
because
sure.
it's much more organized and they have more available. So
That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. So we're almost out of
Okay,
time.
sure, yep.
But definitely keep us updated. Let
Sure.
us keep everybody updated on
Yep.
what it is that you need at any specific time.
Yes.
And again,
And come back when you need
Yes.
services
Yes.
too.
When we have
like
when we have
you've
numbers
got
and stuff, it'll be good.
Right,
Yeah,
or
yep.
specific projects or
Yeah.
things. I know that there would
Yeah.
be people who would volunteer
Yeah.
their time.
Yes,
because you guys do
absolutely.
so much for
Yes.
everybody else. And
Yeah, the community really has been great. The comments have been great, and you've got to come back. Oh, we will come back. We'll come back.
yeah,
But we also don't. Didn't touch on this, but we could get flooded again, no
Right.
matter what we do.
right.
And that is a piece that we call sort of the second phase of the next 50 years. How are we going to work with
Yeah.
that? And that's a tough call.
It is.
We don't know how to do that, but we have to figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, yeah,
That'll be the trick.
yes, it will.
So we'll keep in touch with you. You keep
Thank
in
you.
touch with us, and any of
visit
you
visit
watching.
thebrownchurch.org.
Yes.
Yes.
www.thebrownchurch.org.
Correct.
Make a donation if you're able.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
There's a
Every little
donate
bit
button.
counts,
Yep, and
yeah.
GoFundMe should be up and running.
And we'll be sharing that
If
when
you
it
want
comes
to
up.
follow the Facebook page, The Brown Church, Conway Village, I update that weekly,
She
if
does.
not more sooner. And the minute I know the
Daily
GoFundMe.
lately.
Yeah, well, it changes daily.
guys
It
are
helps me.
amazing all the
It helps
time.
me regurgitate everything all over that I
Yep.
did that day. So, yes,
All right. Well, thank you
Thank
for
you.
taking
Yeah.
some time to come talk with us. and
absolutely.
hopefully, we can get lots of people
Yes, thank
headed
you.
your way. So,
Yes,
good luck, and we'll keep it up.
thank you.
So, Amy, we'll see you when we see you.
All right.
Thank you for
Yeah.
always being
No
willing to
problem.
jump in and help us out. And
Yeah.
Victoria, I hope you're feeling better, and we'll see you soon. And you all have a great week.